Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to discuss the solution of unit test exam which was held on Sunday. In this exam, some students did well and some did not. First of all, I heartily congratulate to those students who did well in this exam, and those who could not perform, I believe that they will definitely do the well in next exam. Now let's discuss the paper. So, in this paper, the first question was, out of the following, find those identifiers which cannot be used for naming variable in Python program. Before discussing the answer of this question, I just recall all the naming rules of an identifier. So the naming rules of an identifier are: identifier name must be start from an underscore symbol or an alphabet. We cannot use a special symbol except underscore symbol in an identifier. Third rule is keywords cannot be used as an identifier. Fourth rule is Python is a case sensitive language, which means uppercase and lowercase letters treated separately. So, according to the rules, the correct options of this question are price into quantity, because we cannot use the special symbol in an identifier. Next is fourth column, because identifier cannot start with a digit. And next is while, because while is a keyword. Now here you can see for and true. These are also keyword, but because Python is a case sensitive language, so here F is capital, so that's why we can use. And true, here T is small. Actually true is a keyword. It's a true statement, but T must be capital. Okay, so the answers of this question are price into quantity, fourth column, and while. I hope you understand. Next question is, write the names of any 4 data types available in Python. So, we can use many data types in Python. Some examples are float, string, bool, complex, list, tuple, dictionary, null. Okay. These are the list of data types used in Python. Next question is, rewrite the following code in Python after removing all the syntax error. So the correct code is number is equal to 2250. Next line, while number is less than equal to 1000. While is in small letter. Next, if number is greater than equal to 750, not equal to greater. Okay. Next line. Print. Print is a method or function, so the parameter must be in parentheses. Line number is equal to number plus 100. Next line, else again print is a method or function, so parameter must be in parentheses, number into 2, and last number is equal to number plus 50. That's it. Next question is, find the output of the following program. First, we initialize a is equal to 2.0. That means 2.0 is a float value. Okay. And print type of a. So the correct answer of this question is class float. That means the type of a is float. If we write, or if we put comma here, that means a is equal to within bracket 2.0 comma, then the type of a will be tuple. I hope you understand. Next question is, color is equal to within square bracket red, blue and green. That means color is the list. Okay. So now D is equal to statement 1 and C is equal to statement 2, and complete statement 1 to create shallow copy and statement 2 for create a deep copy. So to create a shallow copy, we just write D is solve my class based on list to find the difference between shallow comma and deep comma. So the next question is find out the output of the following program. So employee 1 is a dictionary, employee 2 is also a dictionary. Now employee 1 dot update employee 2 and then after print the value of employee 1. So the output of this program will be the value of age will be 57. Okay. And one more item added into employee 1, that is designation. Designation. That's it. The items in the new dictionary are added to the old one and override any item already there in the same key. That is the rule of update function. So, because age is already exists in our original dictionary, so it will be replaced the value of age. That means original value is 32. It will be replaced by 57 after using update function. And designation manager not exist in our original dictionary, so it will be added. So I hope you understand about the update function. Now the next question is find the output of the following program. Here A is a list having element 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. The length of the list is total 6 elements. Now print A and within bracket we use slicing 5 to 8. So it will return 8 only. The reason is that 5 to 8 means the value up to 5, 6 and 7 only. Okay. This is your index number. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at 5th position you can see 8. And 6, 7, 8. So we have no item at 6, 7, 8 place. So it will not raise any error. It will return only 5th place value. Okay. While we are using slicing, if we pass out of one range, it will not raise any error. Now move to next question, and the question is match the following. Here you can see A is equal to within parenthesis. So whatever we write in parenthesis, it is called tuple. Now A is equal to within curly bracket, that means it is a dictionary. Within a square bracket, that means it is a list, and within double quotes, it means it is a string. Simple. Next question is find the output of the following program. The value of x is equal to 10 and initial value of y is equal to 0. A loop is there while x is greater than y, that means 10 is greater than 0. Condition is true, it will print x plus y. That means it will print 10 and then after pop. Next step, y increased by 5, that means now the value of y will be 5. Again it will check the condition 10 is greater than 5 because condition is satisfied. It will print 10 plus 5 means 15 and then after comma. And at next step when the value of y will be 10, that is increased by 5. So 10 is greater than 10, that means condition is false and loop will terminate. So the final output of this program is 10, 15 and comma. To better understand, I just debug this program so that you can better understand. Let's debug this program. Here is your console window. Now one by one, step by step, I will show you the output of this program. Okay. So here you can see the value of x is equal to 10 and initial value of y is equal to 0. Now x is greater than y. Condition is true and it will print x plus y, that means 10 comma. Okay. Now the value of y, here you can see value of y equal to 0, but when we execute this statement, the value of y will be now 5. Okay. Next step, again it will check condition. Because x is greater than y, again condition is satisfied. So it will print 10 plus 5, that means 15. Here you can see output. And again the value of y is equal to y plus 5, that means the value of y is equal to 10. Then here you can see value of y equal to 10, and when it will check condition x is greater than y, it is false. Loop will terminate. Okay, and the final output of this program is 10, 15. I hope you understand. Now move to our next program, and the next program is find out the output of the following program. So the program code is here. To better understand, let's debug this program to find the output of this. So initial value of x is equal to 0 and the initial value of y is equal to 1. Here you can see a loop for I in range 0 to 4. Okay, so I just create a termination point over here and try to debug this program. Now, one by one, you can see the initial value of x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1. So, for I in range 0 to 4, so initial value of I is equal to 0. So, condition is true because it is in range. So, it will print x plus y, that means 0 plus 1, it will print 1 and then after print hash. Now, x is equal to x plus y. So, value of x is equal to 0 and value of y is equal to 1. So, 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. That means the value of x is now 1. Okay. Here you can see value of x is now 1. And y is equal to y plus x. So, x is 1 and y is also 1. So, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So, now the value of y will be 2. Okay. Again, for I in range, so value of I is equal to 0, but now the value of I will be 1. So 1 in range, condition is true, it will print x plus y. So 1 plus 2, that means it will print 3. Okay, and then after hash, next step, x is equal to x plus y. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, now the value of x will be 3. And y is equal to y plus x, so 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. Okay, next step, the value of I will be 2. So 2 is also in range. So it will print x plus y. That means 3 plus 5, it will print 8. And then after hash. Now x is equal to x plus y. That means 3 plus 5. Now the value of x is equal to 8. And 8 plus 5 is equal to 30. Okay. Next step, value of I is equal to 3. Condition again satisfied. It will print 21 and hash. And the value of x will be 21 and value of y will be 34. Okay. Now at next step, when the value of I is equal to 4, it will terminate. So the final output of our program is 1 hash, 3 hash, 8 hash and 21 hash. Okay. So the final output is 1 hash, 3 hash, 8 hash and 21 hash. I hope you understand this program. Now move to our next question, and the next question is find the output of the following program. So for that, I just debug this program so that you can better understand the output of this program. Here is a question. First I create a termination point and try to debug this program. Here you can see the initial value of x is equal to 549 and initial value of a is equal to 0. Okay, x is not equal to 0 because the condition is true. Just move to next step, that is z is equal to x modulus 10. Now the value of z is equal to 9. At next step, x is equal to x floor division by 10. That means the value of x will be 54. Here you can see the value of x is now 54. Again, a is equal to a into 10 plus z. So initial value of a is equal to 0, 0 into 10, 0 plus z. That means 9. So the final value of a will be 9. Okay. Here you can see the value of a is now 9. Again, because x is not equal to 0, condition is true. Now z is equal to x modulus 10. That means the value of z is equal to 4. Now x is equal to x floor division by 10. That means the value of x will be 5. Okay, and you can see the value of x now 5. Again, a is equal to a into 10 plus z. So initial value of right now the value of a is 9. So 9 into 10, that means 90 plus z. The value of z is equal to 4. That means the value of a now 94. Okay. Here you can see 94. Okay. Next step. X is not equal to 0. That means condition is again satisfied. Now the value of z is equal to x, that means 5 modulus by 5, that means the value of z is now 5, and x is equal to x floor division by 10, that means the value of x will be 0. A is equal to a, that means 94 into 10, 940 plus 5, 945, and when I try to execute this loop, it will terminate because now the value of x is equal to 0 and 0 is not equal to 0. So the next statement is print a. Now the value of A is 945. So when I try to execute print A, it will return 945. So the final output of this question is 945. Okay. Final answer is 945. I hope you understand. Next question is, consider the following randomly ordered number sorted in a list. Okay. Show the contents of list after first, second and third of the bubble sort method. So for that, I just show you. Here you can see the list of items. Okay. The basic idea of bubble sort is to compare two adjoining values and exchange them if they are not in proper order. So to understand, first we compare 112 with 104. Because 112 is more than 104, then we just swap it. At next step we compare 112 with 106. Because 112 is more than 106, then we just swap it. Again we compare 112 to 112 because both are same, then there is no changes in our list. Then we compare 112 with 105 because 112 is more than 105, then we just swap it. And at last we compare 112 with 107 because 112 is more than 107, then we just swap it. So after first pass, you can see the elements of our list are 104, 106, 112, 105, 107 and 112. Okay. To find the position of element in our list after second pass, we just follow the same step again. Okay. So first we compare 104 with 106, then no changes. 106 with 112, no changes. 112 with 105, we just swap it. 112 with 107, we just swap it. So after second pass, you can see the elements of our list are 104, 106, 105, 107, 112 and 112. Okay. Now let's move for third step. For third pass, again we repeat the same step. Okay. So first we compare 104 with 106, then no changes. 106 with 105, so we just swap it. And 106 with 107, no changes. So final output after third pass is 104, 105, 106, 107, 112, 112. Okay. So the final answer of this question is, here you can see. Okay. Now let's move to our next question. And the question is, consider the following randomly ordered numbers stored in a list. Now show the contents of list after first, second and third pass of the insertion sort method. Okay. So just I show you and then after we will fill the answer of this question. Here you can see the list of items. Insertion sort is basically a sorting algorithm that builds a sorted list one element at a time from the unsorted list by inserting the element at its correct position in sorted list. So here you can see marker. The left hand side of this marker is sorted list and right hand side of this marker is unsorted list. So what we have to do, we just pick one element from unsorted list and set them in sorted list at its proper position. So first we pick 5 and place them its correct position in sorted list. Okay. So after first pass, you can see the item of list are 5, 22, 26, 19, 32 and minus 4. Now we move on next step. So for second pass, we just pick one more element from unsorted part and place them in sorted part at its correct position. So after second pass, the elements of list are 5, 22, 26, 19, 32 and minus 4. And for third pass, we just pick one element, that means 19. When we compare 19 to 26, 26 shift right hand side. 19 to 22, 22 shift right hand side. And when we compare 19 with 5, because 19 is more than 5, so we just place 19 at 22 position and fill the gap. Okay. So after third pass, the elements of our list are 5, 19, 22, 26, 32 and minus 1. Here you can see the answer of this question. Okay. Now let's move to our next question. Next question is, write a program in Python to print the table of given number. Okay. So I just write the code for this program. So for that, first we take input from user. So A is equal to print input. Then after enter. Okay. Then we just start for loop for I in range. range start from, I want to start my range from 1 2 and last value of I is 10. So for that I just write 11. Okay. And then after simply I print a, then after multiplication symbol, then value of I, then equal to symbol, and then finally result of a in I. Now just run this program. Enter number. Suppose I want to print a table of 5. So here you can see the output. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, and up to 5 times. So I hope you understand. It's a very simple code. Now let's move to next question. Write a program in Python to find given number is prime number or no. Okay, I just write the code so that you can better understand. So for that, first we take input from user. A is equal to 10. Now I declare one more variable named flag and initial value of my variable is 0. Now what is prime number? Number that have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. That means the number which is divisible by 1 and number itself only are called prime number. So what we have to do, we just start a for loop for I in range. Start our loop from 2 to a. What we have to do, we just check if a is completely divided by I, that means number is not prime. So what we have to do, we just change the value of flag by 1, or you can give any value to flag value. Okay, and then after break. That's it. If the value of flag is 0, means number is prime number. Else number is Now let's try to run this code. Okay. So here you can see the prompt has come. Suppose I want to check whether the 17 is a prime number or not. Output is number is prime number. Okay. Again I run this code and check one more number. Let's 9. Output is number is not a prime number. To better understand, let's debug this program. So what we have to do, we just here you can see step by step. Okay. My input is 11, so the value of a is equal to 11, the value of flag is 0. Loop start from I is equal to 2. Here you can see I is equal to 2. Now we check whether the value of a, that means 11, is completely divided by 2 or not. So the answer of this statement is false. So what we have to do, we just increase the value of I by 1. Now the value of I is 3. Again 11 is not divisible by 3. Next I is equal to 4. Not divisible. 5. No. 6. Answer is no. 7. Again condition is false. 8. Again condition is false. 9. Again condition is false. 10. Again condition is false. Now please see. When the value of I is 11, loop is terminated. Okay, and the value of flag is still 0, which indicates that number is prime number. Okay, so when I press F8 key, it will print the number is prime number. Okay, now let's try to run this or debug this program again with another number. Now my input number is 9. Okay. Let's check. The value of a is equal to 9. Again, value of flag is 0. Initial value of flag is 0. Now the value of I is equal to 2. A, that means 9 modulus by 2 is equal to 0. Answer is false. So what is going on? We just move on next step. That means the value of I is now 3. Now here you can see A, that means 9 modulus by 3 is equal to 0 condition is true. So what is going on? The value of flag is, here you can see value of flag is 0. When I execute this statement, the value of flag will change. Now the value of flag is 1. Okay, and then after break. So as soon as break statement execute, we just move out from loop, and here we can check flag is equal to 0. No, condition is false. So what is going on? Number is not right. The statement execute and answer print is correct. So I hope you understand how to check whether the given number is prime number or not. Now move to our next question. Next question is, write a Python program to find and display the sum of all those numbers which are between 1 and n, where n is given by user, which are either divisible by 3 or 7. Okay, so I just show you the code of this program. So for that, first I take the value from user. So n is equal to int input, enter the value of n. Now here we declare one more variable sum, and initial value of sum is equal to 0. Then we start for loop for I in range 1 comma n plus 1. Okay, and then we check if I is completely divided by 3 is equal to 0, or I is completely divided by 7 is equal to 0. Then what we have to do? We just change the value of sum is equal to sum plus I. That's it. Finally print sum is equal to the value. Now let's run this code. Input or enter a number. Get my value is 10. The value of n is 10. Output is sum is equal to 25. Okay. When we input the value of n is 10, the output will be sum is equal to 25. So I hope you understand how to write the code of this program. Now move to our next program, and the next program is write a program in Python to count and display the number of times the value of val is present in the list of, and the list name is ID. So if the ID contains 115, 112, 137, 110, 122, 132, and value contains 122, the output is 122 found in this array or in list 2 times. Okay, so let's see how to solve this question. For that, first we take input from user, that means the list item. For that, I just write A is equal to list, then I use eval method and input. List items. Next, val is equal to that you want to count how many times the number found in the list. Okay. First I print the value of A so that we can understand. Now what we have to do, we just write a print statement 12 found in list. 8 dot found. 12 times. That's it. When I run this code, you will find the output as enter the list items at 20, 12, 30, 12, 50, 12. I want to check how many times 12 present in this. So 12 found in the list 3 times. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. So I hope you understand how to write the code for this program. Okay. So students, this was the solution for your unit test exam. If you still have any query, please let me know. And thanks for attending this session. See you in my next class. Till then, take care.